Greetings, this is Cherokee Billie, and welcome to the Sacred Path program. And joining me today is my dear friend Ray Susanna. Hi, Ray.
Hello.
Are you ready for this
Uh,
full moon that we got coming up, the strawberry moon?
I got my howling voice in.
Ready to howl at the moon.
Arr,
I
yep.
don't blame you. Yep. Why not? So what if the neighbors think you're crazy? They already do. Does it matter?
They already
No.
do.
Right, exactly. They already know, so all you'd be doing is confirming, oh yeah, it must be a full moon, we hear Ray.
Yep.
You'll be like you'll be their calendar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, full moon tonight. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, well, oh gosh, he's on the loose. Right. Well, full moons are always significant for many reasons, but this one is especially important because it occurs the day after the summer solstice. And many people do a lot more celebrations of summer solstice than the others because of the weather. So it's always a big thing, especially like in Stonehenge. They do wonderful ceremonies every solstice. So it's a lot of things to celebrate. And this effect of this full moon is longer than most. It's from the 19th of June to the 25th. So the energy of it is available throughout that time, which is really a nice extension.
Absolutely. The more energy, the more positive energy you get, the better off life is.
And we need all the positive energy we can get in today's world. That is just a fact. It's not easy for anyone.
With all the crazy stuff going on, as much positive energy as the world can get, the better off it is.
That's why, as an individual, tapping in to the summer solstice, the full moon, is very important because you're tapping into a positive energy. The world is very negative, and you need that positive boost. I think if nothing else, the full moon and solstice are very much about giving us jolts of positive energy. I don't see them as negative.
And feeds the soul for good things that are happening. Whether it be something you want to do, a career move, or whatever the case may be. Absolutely, it's a positive note versus a negative note.
Very much so. Very much so. And, I'm not a big fan of summer. I don't like the heat. And never have. So it's not my favorite time of year. I like fall. I like winter. I like spring. Not a summer fan. But I know most people are.
Well, summer's okay for swimming
you?
pools and stuff. Yeah, so I pretty much like everything, all the change of weather. I've lived in places where the weather really didn't change that much. I like the change of weather. The winter has, it gets you calm, and unfortunately you got to stay in and maybe shovel snow depending on where you're at. But the spring and I guess the fall would be my best because I'm just not a fan of the heat anymore. I lived in Las Vegas, so I am not a fan of the heat. And that gives you, and they get cooking out there, and you're living fake air basically year round. You got about 2 weeks in the spring and 2 weeks in the winter or fall, and that's it. Everything else is either heat or air conditioning.
Yeah, it's one or the other, and it gets real hot, like 114 degrees. Whew, in the summer. It is really intense. Yeah. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Vegas, kind of lived there off and on for a few years. So I know what it's like there. And, it can get darn cold, though, in the winter in Vegas. It did when I was there anyway.
I
Not for
don't know
long,
so
but
much
it
as it
does
gets
get cold.
I don't know so much as it gets cold. It's your body is used to the high temperatures, and then when it gets cold, it drops, and then I know during the NFR National Rodeo Finals, you get these guys coming down from North and South Dakota, Montana, and they're walking around in light jackets or short sleeve shirts, and people that live in Vegas are bundled up like they're Eskimos because they're used to the
Yeah,
warmth.
right. Yeah, it's all perspective of where you're from. It's true, but, again, I'm just saying there's still good energy about all the full moons. It's just I don't like the heat, never have, even as a young child. Did not like summer. So it's not any different for me. But it doesn't mean we can't still celebrate all the things that are coming up with the full moon, such as, it's a great time, all full moons, to clear out your life, like cleansing your spirit. You can do some sort of ceremony or ritual to clear out your spirit, clear out your closets and drawers. Excellent time to get rid of stuff you don't need anymore and get rid of clutter. Very important. Clean off any clutter around your sleeping area. Very important because you want everything to be calm and peaceful around you. So also clean out old papers and receipts from 5 years ago that you don't need. And some people cling on forever to certain things you don't need to in terms of having things for taxation. That's one thing, but you don't need every little scrap of paper around you. And you can do this over the next week, before the full moon, during and after, because like I said, it's got a long extension, this energy, this particular full moon.
Well, not only that, a lot of people, and I'm just as guilty. I used to have boxes of clothes and stuff like that under the bed, and it's personally, I think it holds everything in there, whether it be good, bad. I'm guessing mostly bad energies, and it just holds it in there, and it just comes up all the time. So, yeah, I mean,
Yes,
underneath
it
the
does.
bed, the closets, like you said, paperwork that you really don't need. And in
Exactly.
my
And
age,
I want to put
go
in
ahead.
something here that I haven't before, is the people really like our show. I get good reviews and feedback how much people enjoy these podcasts that we're doing. Well, if you like what Ray and I are doing, please help support our work. You can buy us a cup of coffee. It's a donation link here on this video. You can go to my website, CherokeeBillySpiritualAdvisor.com. Look for support my work, because this is work. I know it doesn't seem like it to people, but we put a lot of time, thought, and energy into everything we're doing. And your support would mean a great deal to us in more ways than just financial. It just says, hey, you guys are doing a good job. Here's a little pat on your head, and we could use it. Now, you go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, it just the clear out all the junk in general is what needs to be done. And I mean, I'm just as guilty as everybody else. I hang on to stuff that there ain't no reason why I should hang on to it. Stuff that's 10, 15, 20 years old that I know I'm never going to wear for whatever reason. It don't fit anymore. It's just, well, in my case, it'll be too small. But, yeah, I mean, it's stuff that you don't need. If you have 1,000 T-shirts, you don't need 1,000 T-shirts.
True.
Suits that you don't wear all the time or that you don't wear. I used to wear suits to work. And I know I've gotten rid of a few suits because I don't need the suits anymore because I'm retired. So
Right.
I don't
It's
I
different.
don't need all this stuff. And then, you got to, I don't want to say stay in style, but you got to, basically stay in style. Heck, I must have 50 ties. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with all those ties. So now it's time to start getting rid of this stuff because I don't need it. So, I
No,
mean,
you don't.
it's the clutter and it holds, whether it be good or bad energies, it holds the energies. And like I said, I'm going to say most of it's bad, but not real bad, but at least not for me anyhow. But it does hold negative energies.
And when you get rid of things, clutter, whatever, papers, clothes, whatever it may be, you feel it's like a surge of energy almost because you just feel a weight lifted off of you. So, you want to bring in as much positive energy as possible, not just on the full moon or the solstice, but every day of our lives. We need it. We're battling against negative forces all the time, and it takes a lot to keep yourself in a positive, uplifted state.
Absolutely, especially in this day and age with all the stuff that's happening in the world. You got to try to stay positive. You got to try to keep lifting yourself up, even though a lot of times it's difficult. You got to try to keep lifting yourself up and do what you think is good and go from there.
And, the energy of the full moon, pulling it into yourself, can uplift your spirit. It really can. The moon isn't a negative thing. There's a lot that's so positive about it. And that's what you want to bring in. Also, this one is called the strawberry moon. And it got its name because the Native American tribes would know it's a time to gather fruit. And that was why it got the name strawberry moon or honeymoon. Another interesting thing is the moon often in June has kind of a yellow tinge to it, and it looks kind of like honey. And again, this is where it got the name honey moon because June was a time when more people were getting married than normal. And so it's kind of a nice little blessing. Again, this all has roots in Native American history. And, tap into that. And remember where honeymoon comes from, the sweetness, the honey of the moon.
Yeah, it's, you got to try to absorb as much positive energies as it gives out. Because,
That's right.
It's just, yeah. Because if you don't, the negative energies are just going to beat you down until you're down and you can't get back up. It's a fight every day for the positive energies because the negative energies, people, it's so easy to grasp the negative energies versus the positive energies, and people they just need to grasp that positive.
Well, the world vibrates more to the negative than the positive, so it's kind of going against the grain, and that's fine. Even if people think you're a little nuts, it doesn't matter. Keep tuning into the good. Keep letting that be a part of you and that you give out to the world, because there is a lot of wonderful vibrations to tap into. And another thing I wanted to bring up is I do a special full moon reading that's different than anything you would normally get and helps you kind of see your life path a bit better. So if you'd like to get a full moon reading, please go to my website, Cherokee Billie, spiritualadvisor.com, and check out the different readings I do. And I think you'd enjoy the full moon reading. I believe I've done a few of them for you in the past, haven't I, Ray? I don't remember.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You've done, I don't know how many, I know it's at least 3 or 4 full moon readings. And to me, they help. Some people just bounce off of, but if you actually listen and absorb what's being said and you have nothing else, think about it, you're a lot better off. You understand things a lot better. So, you've done, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me, something like that. But yeah, it's something that is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, that helps, and anything that helps in life is always a good thing. You know, like we
Absolutely.
said, like we just said, the negativity in the world today is, to me, is staggering. If you look at the negativity now versus, we'll say, in the 60s or 70s, some people probably aren't even that old or wasn't born yet. The difference between the two is like day and night.
Yes, it's a big difference. The world in general is depressed more. And here, go back to 60s, 70s, we had a war going on pretty much everywhere in the world. But it was still a better time than today. Very crazy.
Yeah. Even in the 50s, you had Korea going on, and you still had a lot of leftover from World War II. So yeah, I mean, in the 60s, there was wars, like you said, all over the place. I did read an article one time, and there's like over 100 wars going on every day, and to me, that's absolutely. And people are just killing each other for whatever reason. I still don't understand why this war in Russia and Ukraine's going on. The only thing I can figure is Russia just wants Ukraine back, and they want to build the Soviet Union again. That's their own country. Let them do it. This thing in Gaza, and I'm not going to pick a side, and I'm not going to pick a side on the other one either. Why is everybody killing everybody just to kill them? I mean, that don't make any sense to me. Maybe I just seen too much of it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you have, but it has to do with spiritual entities. The devil and his dark forces, hey, they're working overtime because, in essence, the devil knows his time is limited. So he's going to try and capture as many people as possible, pull them into his dark energy because, again, it makes him happy to take someone away from the light of God. And that, he feels,
Absolutely,
is a victory. And it isn't like
Absolutely.
the end time is tomorrow or 1 year from now. The end time can be going on another 100 years, even 200 years, but it doesn't mean we aren't in the end times. It just means it's not going to go where it's tomorrow and suddenly, boom, everything changes. Because the book of Revelation has a clear outline of events, historical, etc., that has to happen prior to the Christ coming back. And those events have not all occurred. And it takes time. And if you want to know more about them, I have written a book on the end times. Check out my ebooks and you'll see. And it helps you to know. It's like a map, so to speak, because you'll know, oh, wait a minute, this hasn't occurred, so no, it can't happen yet. It gives you a very clear, precise timeline of how things should go. And that was written 2,000 years ago. People talk about Nostradamus, who was incredible with his predictions. I mean, astounding. But the Bible is too, when it comes to the book of Revelation, which I personally feel was the least manipulated, doctored, because they didn't understand what in the world it was all about. So it stayed more true. Go ahead.
That's my favorite book of the Bible, even though there should be other ones. But the book of Revelations, maybe it's simply because I want to know what's going on, when it's going to happen. It doesn't mean that it says in there, okay, June 20th, this is what's going to happen. It doesn't give specific dates, but it does tell you, like you said, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And until they happen, it won't move on. So,
exactly.
That's just my favorite book as far as I'm concerned anyhow.
Well, it certainly is filled with a lot of hope and that's what I get from it, is a lot of hope, of what is to come. And I mean about when we pass on and go to the spirit world. It's so beautiful to know what it's like over there, and it does describe it in the book of Revelation. And like I do a lot of pet and animal communication, and of course people want to know about their pet that has passed on, and I share with them what life is like across the Rainbow Bridge. And it has to do again with my astral projections into that area of the heavens. And it's astounding what I found out. So again, no matter if you're feeling real down, remember, there is going to be a time when things improve. Your life will get better. If not in this one, it certainly will in the next one. A friend of mine this past week, his mother passed on, and I was able to communicate with her, and it was interesting how she viewed her life and what she had to say about her passing and her transitioning into spirit, because she died a slow, horrific, painful death, very slow. But in doing that, it elevated her. So when she passed over, she went straight into the heavens. No healing room, no nothing, because she worked off everything she needed to in this life and had a straight zoom. Here I am in the spirit world.
Yeah, I mean, it just, and a lot of people, I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it, whether it be the healing room, purgatory, well, whatever you call it, it's still, it's still a place that, you get totally cleansed, and I mean, this is the way I look at it. Totally cleansed, all the dark is washed away, and then you go to then you go up, then you go to heaven in a bright new outfit because you just had it washed.
Yeah.
I know that's a scary way of looking at it, but that's the way I do it. And then if not, if you're too dirty, your robe is too black, then you don't even go there. You just go right down below. And a lot of people, surprisingly enough, yeah, and a lot of people, surprisingly enough, don't look at it as there's an afterlife, there's a heaven, there's a hell. There's nothing. When you go, you go. And I feel sorry for these people because these are the same people that, I don't know what's going to happen to them when they go, but only the Creator knows that. So I feel sorry for them because they don't have a clue what's going on. I guess they'll find out when they pass.
True, and in the meantime, they should be, while they're here on this planet, doing things that are going to uplift their spirits, such as a ceremony on the full moon, a ceremony for the solstice. There are ways to celebrate. You don't have to do some elaborate, party or something, although some people do, especially summer, because they light bonfires, and that's a great thing to do because you can write down what you want to release and throw it in the fire and release it. There's many ceremonies you can do that will help you move forward, and doing them on a full moon can really accelerate it and make it go even better.
Yeah, the burning bowl ceremony, which it's a private ceremony, where you, like you said, you write stuff down that you want to get rid of, the negativity, whatever it may be, past, if you had problems in the past, you write it down and you burn it, and it goes up, and the Creator or the angels, take care of it for you, and it's gone. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. Right.
Although it can.
It's not good. Yeah, well, it can happen overnight, but, I mean, a lot of people say, okay, this is done, so nothing's happened. Well, you also, as I've said many times, the spirit world is not, their time and our time are different. Their time could be a twitch could be 10, 15, 20 years, where our time is like the next minute.
Right. Different frequencies. And
right.
That's what people need to remember. It is a different frequency, this spirit world, than here. And, the spirit world is always trying to work with us and help us. And we just need to silence ourselves every once in a while. That's a good reason to celebrate a full moon. Silence. Do just a ceremony where you have lit candles, maybe have an altar with flowers, incense, and just be silent and see what comes to you in that silence. It can be quite beautiful.
The silence is and I don't care what you're doing, silence is always good because it clears all the crap away from your brain, and it gives you time to actually just sit and think. And if somebody if there's a spirit around you, they can contact you, or it just gives you time to focus on what it is you're doing and going from there. Because you got to have the silence. A lot of people don't like it, but you got to have the silence. I guess I learned the hard way, but the silence helps. Helps you and everything else.
Well, and that's part of what you can do on a full moon, a ceremony where, again, like I say, light candles, incense, flowers, and just say a prayer and then be silent and wait and see what comes through to you. You might be surprised. You may get some incredible insight into yourself. Then again, maybe it's just a time to be silent and expect nothing. And expecting nothing, that's usually when you receive more. I've learned that one.
If you're playing the lottery and you don't expect to win, I'm not saying you're going to win, because winning the lottery is like, it's not going to happen.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
Right.
But anything else, watering plants, whatever the case may be, it helps. It helps you mentally. It helps you physically to be quiet. Even the cats don't need to meow all the time, because, that's, to me, that's noise, but animals are animals.
Yes, but if you're pulling yourself into a quiet space through meditation, prayer, whatever it is that takes you there, your animals will calm down as well. It does work on them, because they often are picking up your energy and reflecting back what they're getting.
Right. It's like riding a horse. If a horse knows that you're hyped up because you're on his or her back, the horse is going to get hyped up, and the horse is going to start carrying on. If they know that you're calm and everything else, then they're going to be calm. Dogs, like you said, dogs, cats, everything is the same. They pick up on your energies, and they pick up. Go ahead.
Yes, and it's important, especially if you have sensitive pets, to pull in that peaceful energy, to calm them down, to help them face things differently. Because I've noticed in doing the years of animal communication, how many animals are, believe it or not, depressed. I mean, it's just amazing to me. They aren't always so happy, because they're picking up the energies from their pet parent and they're reflecting it back, because it is a hard time to live, and focusing on the good and the powerful is a major thing. And again, let nothing else, the full moons remind you to slow down, give thanks, receive positive energy.
Right. You don't have to stop. but you slow down. Basically, you slow down and enjoy the life. I mean, let's face it, life is not, it's always, so I shouldn't say always, but, there's a lot of stuff in life that could be a headache. And if you slow down and you smell the roses, as they say, things go a lot better for you. I know when I was in the military, I was a mechanic. They says, something's not going together right. Just stop, get a cup of coffee, and go from there, and then go back and start working on it. And they're right. You stop, you relax for a few minutes, you go back, bang, everything goes right together without a headache.
Yeah, and these are the things people need to be doing actively. So with the upcoming summer solstice and the strawberry full moon, you got two wonderful, powerful energies to tune into and use that energy for changing your life, even if it's just learning to quiet yourself down. That is a blessing in today's world.
Right. I mean, it's you receive as much energy as humanly possible. You calm down, smell the roses, and go from there.
Yes. And another thing is, remember, right, people are often just seeking approval from others and, doubting themselves. Instead, during this full moon, take time to trust in your own worth and your inner visions, your inner voices, whatever you're receiving. Let them guide you. It's time for you to step into your own spotlight and shine like the star you truly are. And you are a star in many, many ways, and you just don't see it. But this is what the full moon is about, is helping you stop, slow down, think about who you really are and what energies you can pull in, and you'll find yourself a lot happier. Now, we're down to the last minute here. Ray, is there anything you want to sum up this with?
Yeah, you got to, you like you said, you got to trust yourself. Pleasing other people is not your main goal in life. You got to please yourself. You got to please yourself. A lot of people, well, they're doing this, so I don't like them. Well, you know what? Then there's somebody else that will like it. You got to please yourself. In order, to be happy and receive the energies, you have to please yourself.
Well, that's what makes life better for you in so many ways. Learning to please yourself. Many people don't even know how. They've done so much thinking outside of themselves. And again, take time, meditate, slow down, let the solstice and the full moon together 2 nights. Use them to quiet yourself and recharge your battery, which is you. Well, I thank you for being here and taking time out, Ray, to speak to everyone. I know that people do enjoy these programs, and again, please support this work that we're doing. We really need your help, and we really, truly appreciate each one of you. So thank you, Ray, for being here. I wish you a wonderful solstice and a blessed full moon.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.